Welcome to What You Missed When You Didn't Exist. I am Corbett, and I am 52.
And I'm Lucy, and I am 23.
So lacking in the rhyming, you and your age.
Do you want to keep saying used to be 22? 22
No,
plus
because
1
then they're like,
year.
what are you now? And it's going to be confusing.
But we're talking about, what are we talking about today, Dad?
Last time we talked about the king, so obviously we should talk about the prince.
The Prince.
Specifically, Prince, or as he is officially known, Prince Rogers Nelson.
Oh, not Prince William. Okay.
Nope. Prince Rogers Nelson, born in 1958 in Minnesota.
Wow.
One of the great musical performers from Minnesota, as far as probably the only one that I know of. Prince actually had a very similar career. Well, I don't know if his career trajectory is the same as Elvis. He definitely lived longer than Elvis. I'll give him that. I think he lived to the age of 57.
I mean, 10 years. You're almost there, Dad.
Well, yeah. From anybody who remembers the Elvis show, Elvis died at the age of 42, and Prince lived a pretty full life, I would say.
Yeah.
I think everybody at this point probably has seen the clip on YouTube from the Dave Chappelle show.
About what?
Where Charlie Murphy talks about Prince and basketball and pancakes.
Oh, I haven't seen that video, so.
No, you should definitely. Okay, for those who need to see it. It's a hilarious story of Charlie Murphy going to Prince's house and them having a party and everything hanging out. And Prince offers pancakes to them, and because he loves pancakes and he has his own personal chef making pancakes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he challenges them to a basketball game. And he goes out decked out in full Prince gear, high heels, crazy Prince clothes. And if you know anything about Prince, he dresses out there. And he just whooped them solid on the court.
Oh, okay.
Because all of Charlie Murphy's friends are dressed in, sweats and stuff to do it. I thought it was kind of funny. And it definitely has a certain stigma to Prince's mystique. Prince appeared on the scene in the 80s. He did live into your lifetime. So you really did exist when Prince existed. So convenient for you.
But not when he was popular in the 80s. Only
Not
when he was
big. Well, he kind of got big for a couple times. I mean, he first started out in like the very early 80s. His big opening song was Purple Rain. Was it Purple Rain? I want to say it was Purple Rain.
Maybe.
Because that was also his first movie.
He had a movie?
Yeah, he had a movie, Purple Rain.
Oh, okay.
And of course, actually, I take that back. I think 1999. Yeah, in 1982, he put out an album called 1999, which is probably every song that most people who are Prince fans will sing more so than Purple Rain. Purple Rain was when he became a big visual hit because he was in the movie Purple Rain, which was him as a singer.
Yeah.
And it did quite well in the box office, as I remember too. But anyway, Prince was a pretty amazing guy, very talented, put out tons of songs that were definite top chart hits. I think Little Red Corvette comes to mind to me most. Oh, Let's Go Crazy was one of his big party numbers. Raspberry Beret, I think I've always kind of thought was cute just because I kind of imagine the Raspberry Beret. One of those things. When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, Delirious. Oh, he did the song for Batman in 1989.
What song for Batman?
He did the entire soundtrack for Batman.
Really? That's weird.
A whole bunch of it. It was a big moment. He's had 2 or 3 movies as well. I mean, Purple Rain being one of his main ones, Under the Cherry Moon. It's kind of funny considering how small a stature he is. Like, he's kind of Tom Cruise small. As a movie star, he had a commanding presence, but he just didn't bother working with that because he spent more time working on his music.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much. And Tim Walz advocated for his road. I want to say it was
Did you find out which road it was?
I didn't.
Failed.
Minnesota native, so.
Minnesota. Do you think he got outshined by Michael Jackson?
Yeah, at the time.
So do you think that's why he wasn't as well known as Michael Jackson?
Well, Michael Jackson at that point had already had his disco hits and was going into like Bad. I think
Thriller
Bad
and
at that time, yeah.
Whatnot.
A Thriller had already come out at this point. Michael Jackson was really hitting his height the
Oh,
single glove and all that. And we'll have to do a Michael Jackson show, obviously, because
obviously.
we tied in with that with the King. There's
Another
the
king.
King of rock and roll. We're now
Well, there's
doing
also
the
the King of
Prince.
England.
Well, Michael Jackson was the King of pop, but we're talking about
Mm,
Prince.
Prince.
And Purple Rain came out in 1984. So
Okay.
prior to 1984, he was kind of having a couple. He had several albums actually. That's probably more than I remember.
Because you weren't a dedicated Prince fan.
Yeah, I really wasn't that dedicated to Prince band until later. I guess. Sorry, it didn't matter. Once Purple Rain came out, he was pretty much in. He was Prince. He
Hmm.
was Prince and the Revolution specifically.
Okay.
That was his band.
Cool.
Now, Prince obviously was big enough that you could just say Prince and you would know who you were talking about. I never realized his actual name was Prince.
Oh, like his family named him Prince.
Yeah, it's Prince Rogers Nelson.
It's his government given name.
His
Yeah.
government, I think his parents gave it to him probably.
Well, his official government name.
Yeah, the one that they hunt him down. Which actually, that's a whole nother thing about Prince that is before you existed. Congratulations, stumbling on that
Thanks.
one. Because in the 90s, he wanted to change his name to this sort of crazy, sort of Ankh looking symbol. I can't even describe it.
It's like the mojo symbol, but with a cross in it, like the Egyptian. There's like an Egyptian cross mixed with the mojo symbol.
According to Wikipedia, it is known to fans as the love symbol.
Love.
Since it could not be spoken, and unfortunately, we live in a society where we use spoken words.
Mm-hmm.
It's a poor choice on us, I guess. We had to call him something. So the only legal thing you could call him is the artist formerly known as Prince or just the artist. So for almost the entire decade of 1990, 1993, he changed his name officially to this symbol and became the artist formerly known as Prince. Stayed that way until around 2000. And then he put out a new album and it's like, just call me Prince. Whatever.
Can't change your name.
Yeah, but he was fairly well known as a nice guy. Anybody who met him outside of it, he looks, for anybody who's ever seen a picture of Prince, he always looks kind of looking at the camera in a weird, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of a cat. The way cats look at you.
How
Like
so?
you could be a dinner, you could be a friendly person, you could be an evil person. I don't know. Cats have this crazy look in their eye. And
I mean, it's
and
kind of an
Prince
intense stare, but it's
it's
not like
it's
that
it's very
bad.
it's very much in that zone. He's got the cat stare, and this is of course most of his Pose stuff. So I'm just for anybody who is a Prince fan, is like I can't believe he said he stares like a cat. Like it's just the way they shoot him to make him look that way, and it looks cool. It's fine. He went on to do many albums after that. He was in quite a few shows and other things, and mostly he was just like Prince. He kind of became known as Prince.
He was the man himself. When
Yeah,
did
he
his
just
latest like song come out?
his
Like,
latest song?
well, like when did he stop making music?
He never stopped making music. His final album was 2016. So
Whoa,
the
that is
year
kind
he
of crazy.
died, he put out an album.
Dang.
So Hit and Run Phase 1 and Phase 2 came out in 2015. And then he did a tour in 2016. He even went down to Australia.
Whoa, big moves.
He got sick in 2016 during the tour and passed away in Minnesota because he
What
went
was
got the.
the sickness?
They said he had influenza, so a cold.
Mm-hmm.
They rescheduled, went back home, and died from a overdose.
Oh, so maybe he was taking medicine for his sickness and then also took party drugs because why not? And then,
Mm,
or it was murder. Bum, bum.
I don't think there's too many conspiracies about it.
I know. You never know. I remember I was bummed when he died because I had just watched the New Girl episode that they were in. Which now that you said that Charlie thing, I think that the New Girl episode was kind of mocking that party because they did the same thing in essence. Like they had pancakes and they were playing against each other in table tennis, and
Mm.
then Jess was trying on all of his outfits, which he somehow had in the same size.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising considering I think Prince was a much smaller person.
He's kind of frail looking.
Well, he's thin, but that's just more that he's like 5'2" or something.
Well, yeah.
But I kind of get the impression that's also like his personality, the pancakes, the playing games and stuff around the house. I mean, he just seemed like everybody who described him out of being Prince, what he was always kind of this Minnesota kid who was just hanging out and having some fun and like pancakes.
Which is awesome. I feel like more people should continue to be the people that they are and not let fame ruin their personality because it's just way more fun as a celebrity if you are just you instead of just the persona.
Well, I would say that's true, but I will admit the artist formerly known as symbol thing seems weird. I mean, it just does.
Yeah.
It was about the same time that Madonna started showing up and having an English accent for no
Mhm.
real reason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, sure, whatever. You want to be that? Go ahead and be that, I guess. And I would say Prince, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Blondie, they were all kind of in that same category of that 1980s wave of new music and entertainment that was coming through. You know,
Yeah.
the change in the way things are going to be.
Hmm.
And they kind of were the last big, I guess, celebrity singers. Not that singers aren't celebrities, I guess. Obviously, Taylor Swift denies that. But most singers don't have that kind of power, like Madonna or Cher, or that singular. You know them by the single word.
Oh,
There's not too
yeah.
many singers that hold that kind of power anymore.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess there's Taylor
Hey, she's important.
and The Rock.
And The Rock.
But no, it's something that he held his own first name as his primary stage name,
Yeah.
and that became who he was. And you're right, having him stay as himself, as the homegrown Minnesota boy, grew up and became a celebrity to his own right, and went off and did things.
Hmm.
I mean, that's kind of good. Sadly, he did die at the age of 57. I kind of get a mixed match of like it's a medical mishap and it's an overdose and he had a personal doctor.
Because of a mystery.
I
Uh-oh.
guess.
Conspiracy theory. Insert conspiracy theory here. I feel like there's not a lot to talk about in terms of him in the modern day because I really only saw him in New Girl. So I think that's what most of my generation would know him as because a lot of Gen Z people don't listen to 80s music. That's a
Mm.
broad generalization. If you are a Gen Z individual that listens to 80s music, don't come after me. I'm just stating my knowledge.
They will definitely call you sus.
Yeah. Mad sus. No cap, bro.
Oh boy. Hey, this is an actual little tidbit that kind of goes your way actually in 2022.
Mm.
Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota did a research on a previous teacher strike from 1970s or in April 1970, and they uncovered a video interview with Prince at 11,
Oh,
and
that's so
he
cute.
was in support of the teachers getting the raise they deserve.
Oh, that's so cute.
Just for a teacher as yourself, like, hey, he was on board.
Oh my gosh. I should tell that to all my kids and all of my teachers. They will love that if they don't know that already.
Well, I'm sure you could probably look it up. I bet it's on YouTube somewhere for sure.
Probably.
As outlandish as his life may have come across, and for the comedy bits that people have thrown out at Prince, he still made some pretty good music, and he put out some good movies. He entertained the world. I guess much like Elvis, he'll be missed.
Yeah. Missed in great lengths.
You know,
Prince.
I will say this in contrast to Elvis, because we were talking about this the last show. I don't think actually most of his music was all original. It was all Prince's music. It wasn't taken from somebody else and repurposed for his. In fact,
Ooh.
the Prince song "Kiss." I don't know if you remember it, but it
Yes.
was redone by Tom Jones, and Tom Jones kind of made that his own song. He did a very good
Whoa.
job with the remake. Not that I didn't like the Prince one. The Prince one was fine, but it's still it shows the quality. Like he was a singer-songwriter and quite the entertainer. And apparently he appreciated teachers. So there you go.
Prince, the teacher lover. That sounds bad. Maybe not. Never mind.
Well, next time you're having a stack of pancakes, you can think about Prince for a minute.
Pancakes and Prince.
Kind of goes
That'd be
together,
fun.
really.
That'd be cute. That'd be a fun little fundraiser activity or something.
Yeah.
Well, this has been what you missed when you didn't exist. I've been Lucy.
And I've been Corbett. And we've been Princed.
We've been pancaked and princed.